looks like they're discussing something.
Have you figured out how you're going to test the humans?
Of course! Any random question should do the trick. They don't look very smart to me.
Wow, cool! You greencaps are so wise. Just like our Siege Lord. Huh, I'm so jealous.
It's all progressing as expected. I know exactly what they're going to ask. Oh, please, please tell us how to conduct the ceremony. And I shall respond. Nothing in life comes for free. You have two choices. Answer a question about the stars and moon above, or the dark abyss below.
Ew! And they'll say, no, I'm stumped. I can't think anymore, or my cap will explode into spores.
They're humans, idiot. They don't have caps or spores.
All right. Duh.
And then I'll say, you can't even answer the most basic of basic questions? Come back after you've studied for a few more decades.
Ha! Yeah! A few more decades. Huh.
Of course, they're so dense, it might actually take them that long to realize that. If eating is a ritual, then obviously the ceremony is the cooking.
I mean, obviously it's the cooking!
Did they just give us the answer?
Who goes there? Do you think we're the dense ones? Look in the mirror, buddy.
A floating pale organism out of nowhere! My cap almost burst into spores!
No, wait, don't disappear! At least explain yourselves first! So, we passed the test? Where's the sense of accomplishment? So much for gathering our wits. We didn't have to use our brains at all. Oh well. The important thing is the Sage Lord of Fungi wants us to use cooking to establish a stronger mental connection with him.
That sounds right. Uncle Atoli did say, when you cook this mushroom, the higher the heat, the better the fragrance.
Right! That was the case when you grilled them in the orchard, too. Heat really does release their flavor. Okay, let's give it a try.
Definitely. But we should probably explain the situation to Uncle Akadal and the rest of the tribe first.
Good call. It's best for everyone to be prepared.
Huh.
Okay, so it felt pretty normal in the moment, but hearing it back does sound kind of, ridiculous.
So, the mushrooms in the orchard are sentient. What a remarkable discovery!
Yeah, without your investigation, who knows what could have happened?
Thanks for looking into it, and for collecting all this information.
What a relief. I was worried it sounded like I lost my marbles.
It does sound far-fetched. After all, none of us have ever spoken to a mushroom. But we know you're not one to lie, Varessa. Besides, the origin of the green mushrooms has always been a mystery to us. Thanks to you, we now know something sinister could be going on. So, we should do our part to help.
Yeah, just let me know if there's anything I can do.
Wow, that didn't take much convincing.
Oh, wait! You said the mushrooms needed to be cooked at high heat, right? I can do that for you right now. I'll be quick. All right, I'm back. I used cast iron, so it should be hot enough.
Whoa, it smells delicious! Suddenly Paimon's hungry again.
Well, here goes nothing.
Wait, that's his voice!
Looks like you stumbled upon the right path. But this temperature does not demonstrate even a fraction of the sincerity I require. Did you really think some common stove could generate enough heat to earn the acknowledgement of the Sage Lord? Humans are such a disappointment. You can solve my riddles when the answers are handed to you on a silver platter. But as soon as there are no more hints, not a shred of intelligence in sight. Do try and use your brain this time.
How did it go? Did you hear the voice?
Annoying menace of a mushroom! The Sage Lord of Fungi said the heat's still not high enough. Sage Lord of nitpicking, more like!
Not high enough, huh? I guess that means we need a more powerful source of heat. Attention, everyone! We need items that can generate intense heat. Anything you can find.
I'll see what I can do.
Leave it to me.
We should take a look too.
Definitely. We're not super familiar with this area, though. Do you have any ideas?
Nothing concrete, but we could check around the volcano. It spews out all kinds of stuff. Maybe there's something we can use.
Awesome! Let's go! Paimon's gonna find something scorching hot and then throw it in that stupid mushroom's face!
Time to scout. Hey, there should be some avatars of lava somewhere along this path. Their cores are really hot. It might be just what we need.
You know, when you think about how everyone jumped to help us like that, it seems like your tribe has been suspicious of the green mushrooms for a while.
Yeah, but without you, we would have never gotten this far. I mean, tons of people have tried that mushroom without a weird voice talking in their head.
Right. So, even if you wanted to investigate, you had nowhere to start.
Yeah, this opportunity was a long time coming. Plus, the Sage Lord's arrogant attitude definitely triggered my tribe's competitive spirit.
Veressa doesn't seem competitive most of the time, though. Outside of training and fighting monsters, at least.
Yeah, well, I don't really like fighting or competing, to be honest. Simple day-to-day happiness is what matters to me. Still, I've learned a lot from Kojian-san. She taught me that strength is a means rather than an end. We get stronger so we can use our strength when it counts. Like during the Abyss invasion. Having the training to master my vision meant that I could do something to stop it. So, no matter how scared I feel, I know I have to be brave. Because people are counting on me. Thanks. It's a work in progress. I can only hope that one day I can be as brave as Lady Fiatenna. All right, we should keep looking. Oh, looks like we can make this jump.
Uh-oh! A falling rock!
That avatar of lava pushed it down. Come on, let's charge.
Charge?
Hero incoming! Charge! Done and dusted. This core should be perfect. Look, the phlogiston inside it is still active.
Oh, let's see! Woo! Hot!
A few more chunks like this and we should be good. Come on, let's keep heading up. Careful! 3 avatars of lava ahead!
Thief. Is there a great Tolan weasel thief or something?
We call it a furnace shell mountain weasel. It's very aggressive, so be careful. That was a cheap shot! Hero incoming! Charge!
What a great haul! A bunch of seeing eyes, and this thing the weasel used to spew out fire!
I think that's its back armor. It shoots out phlogiston, so it can pretty much attack from all directions. My dad told me about them once. Creatures that live in the volcano. I can't believe we actually ran into one. This piece of armor might produce even higher temperatures than the seeing eyes. We'll get those mushrooms super hot this time. Oh, well, even though I don't like fighting, sometimes you don't have a choice. So I've tried to figure out a bunch of different ways to get myself in the zone. For example, I've read a lot of stories about heroes, and my favorite hero has always been Fiatenna, the one I mentioned before. Fiatenna's most iconic feature was her mask. So I decided to make one just like hers. So now, Whenever I wear the mask, it's like there's a little piece of her with me. If I want to honor her legacy, I have no choice but to be brave. At the same time, though, I guess it's kind of like a crutch. Kind of like I'm hiding behind her strength.
Oh, you really think so?
Really? It's just... I feel like I need to take it off one day and face things alone. But the longer I put off taking that step, the more impossible it feels.
Yeah, you had the courage to make that decision. And that's what adventuring is all about. Fighting is just a small part of it.
Oh,
Besides, Paimon thinks you're doing a great job. Just take your time. It's not a race.
thanks for believing in me, you two. I've learned so much. And I won't give up. Not until I can face things on my own. After that pep talk, I feel like my appetite is back in full force.
You're hungry already? Paimon hasn't even finished digesting her last meal.
Come on, let's head back to the tribe. We'll earn that mushroom's recognition this time for sure.
We're back! And we found a bunch of stuff to use!
Great! We're almost done with the preparations on our side, too.
I've managed to get these iron chunks red hot. We should be good to go.
Yeah, and since we need really high temperatures, I brought the best stove I could find.
And I got a bunch of buckets of lava on standby if we need more fuel.
Yeah, but the things we brought aren't your typical cooking utensils either.
Well, that mushroom started it, right, everyone? Disrespecting Varessa and her guest of honor.
Yeah, we'll see what sort of excuses it can come up with this time.
Thanks for the help, everyone. It really means a lot.
All right, let's see what we have here. Huh? The armor of a furnace shell mountain weasel? Don't tell me you went into the volcano.
No, it erupted out of nowhere, and then the weasel appeared, and then, well, anyway, we got this in the end.
Either way, this is something special. Back when I was training to be a chef, I studied the effect of temperature on different ingredients. This kind of armor produces intense localized heat. It's great for fish because you can get a nice sear on one side without overcooking the other. Anyway, let's get started. The mushrooms are all ready to go.
All right, let's go.
Whoa, the fragrance is so much more intense. And what's with this weird mist? Wait, no, something's not right. Where are we? Where did everyone go?
I have no idea. We just showed up here. I can't see the others anymore.
Huh? Is something wrong?
That's a cuddle! Chief, we don't know where we are!
What? I know it's hard to see through this mist, but aren't you here at the tribe with the rest of us? No. What are you feeling?
Because you are the only worthy devotees, of course.
Evil jerk of a mushroom, so this is what you look like!
He does look a bit more evil than the other mushrooms we met.
I am no longer concerned with your insolence. On the contrary, I am satisfied with your performance. So, as promised, you shall have the answers you seek. Of course, I have a goal of my own. Let me reiterate once more. The great sage lord of Fungi, that would be me, is extending you the honor of becoming my subjects.
Ha! The only way anyone's serving you is on a platter!
Now, don't be hasty. It's inadvisable to speak in absolutes. You refuse only because you have yet to witness my miracles. Cherish this opportunity. It may not come again. As you know, Tivat is not a peaceful place. The gods wage war against one another. Monsters roam the land. Humans live in squalor. But then, humanity discovered me and learned that I could grant them unlimited power to fell even the most fearsome of enemies.
If we want to become strong, we just have to eat this!
Woohoo! Those monsters are no match for me!
And so, the humans worshipped me as their savior. And in return, I revealed my identity as the Sage Lord of Fungi.
You really expect us to believe that? Besides, as far as enemies go, a few puny fungi aren't that fearsome.
Such arrogance! Take that back and apologize before I lose my temper.
You wish!
I mean, those monsters really don't look that scary. Not the kind you'd need a miracle to defeat, anyway.
You insignificant mortals boast of strength? Very well. Then prove it!
Headbutt! Look out below! Zero incoming! Yeah!
Well fought! You see? You ate a fair amount of my clones, and now look what you can do. Huh. My eye for subjects is as discerning as ever.
Huh. Weren't we insignificant mortals just a second ago? Weird.
I'll admit, you're not entirely useless, but my miracles are even greater than you can imagine.
No, don't just... another cryptic one-liner and another disappearing act? It's gotta be a mushroom thing at this point. Well, what should we do? Follow him?
Yeah, let's go. I think he's trying to tell us a story, although I'm not sure if I like the plot.
I soon became humanity's faith, and, with my power, created countless clones, with which I could bestow upon them an endless source of sustenance. Food is a scarce resource. A faith that provides for the needs of the flesh is the most practical and noble of all. And as my subjects gave themselves in service, either as civilians or warriors, I rewarded them with mushrooms in proportion to their contribution. The most exceptional among them could receive as many as 20 mushrooms a day.
That's it?
What are you insinuating? Are mushrooms not enough?
Well, it's possible people couldn't afford to be picky back then.
Yeah, but now even saurians have more options than that.
Sustenance and strength. Such are the pillars of faith. So what do you think? A pretty enticing offer, wouldn't you agree? Once you become my subjects, all you have to do is build a civilization dedicated to the mushrooms. And then... What do you mean, what happened next?
Right. If the humans dedicated themselves in service to you, then shouldn't you have your own tribe at this point? Or even your own nation? But I've read a lot of woven scrolls about the heroes of Natlan, and I've never come across anything about some kind of mushroom savior.
Of course not. I was in a different nation at the time. I don't suppose you know their history, too.
Yeah, and we didn't hear anything about a mushroom civilization.
I never said it was Sumeru. I have no idea where that assumption is coming from. A trivial detail. You know what? You don't deserve to know what happened next.
Yeah, if you want us to respect you, stop being so secretive.
True. If we don't know how the story ends, it doesn't hold much weight now, does it?
All right, fine. Same rules as before. If you want the truth, you'll have to use your wits to earn it. If you fail to prove your worth, good luck getting another detail out of me.
He ran off. Come on, after him.
Oh. Uh-huh. Right.
He jumped down from here! So it looks like we just need to... Is something wrong, Traveler? Off? How?
That's how I feel too. Based on his personality, if he won't tell us how things turned out in the end, it must be because it's not something he can brag about. Besides, how did he even get from Sumeru to Natlan? Seems like he's avoiding that subject too. And through it all, he still hasn't given up on recruiting us. Even though he's in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, he seemed pretty annoyed with our questions. Why not just kick us to the curb?
But why?
All right, sounds like a plan. Let's go!
Catch me if you can! If you can figure out which way to go, of course.
Absolutely insufferable. Come on, let's find him.
Leave this to me. I'll clear a path for you. I think we can get these mushrooms to form a path. We just need to wait for the right timing.
Get a load of this!
Watch out, Marissa!
Don't worry about me. I've got this. Running late again.
A dead end?
Jump up. Let it give us a ride. All right, this should be good. Get ready and jump!
Backed into a corner, huh?
We've got you this time!
sees.
How did we lose him?
Not again. Although, I think I pulled something off of him.
A ball of mist. Oh no, it's spreading! Ah! They're gonna eat us! Gonna eat us! Eat us!
Ungrateful humans! At this rate, I won't have any clones left. The more my clones are consumed, the less power I have. Oh, the situation grows dire. Why must the humans eat so much? My power is all but spent, but it was still enough to control a single human at least. Now all of Sumeru knows how scrumptious my mushrooms are, so if I want to grow, I must relocate. And if I want it to happen fast, I need suitable environmental conditions. You! Take me somewhere hot! The hotter the better!
Yes, my lord.
Is this the place, human?
Yes, this is a volcano in a land far to the west. The temperatures here get very high. It should be a most suitable location for your lordship to regain his strength. I shall now find a good place to plant you, my lord, so that your mycelial majesty may take root in this fertile land.
Yes, proceed. Huh? An earthquake? No! A volcanic eruption!
So that's how it ended. No wonder you tried to hide it from us. It's pretty embarrassing.
I thought he said people formed communities around this mushroom and used it as their main source of food.
Yeah, but it looks like his following got too big and he couldn't keep up with the demand.
Huh. He used the mushrooms as his main recruitment tactic. But then the situation got out of control.
Which means the more mushrooms the humans ate, the less powerful he became, right?
Wow. So his following didn't last long.
Nope, which explains why there aren't any records about some kind of mushroom civilization. In the end, he mind-controlled a human to bring him to Natland and then got buried under a pile of volcanic rocks.
Yeah, for who knows how long. When we were talking to him earlier, he seemed kind of, out of touch, you know?
Well, he has been living under a rock, so that checks out. But clearing out this area for your orchard finally allowed him to start regaining his power.
Yeah, that sounds right. My parents always thought it was so weird that mushrooms kept popping up around the orchard no matter what we did. Now it makes sense. Wait, but if everything we saw is true, that means this mushroom has mind control powers or something? That's a recipe for disaster.
Hold on. Do you remember what he showed us? A group of humans worshipping a giant mushroom. It just doesn't make sense. They must have been mind-controlled. But when he started running out of power, he couldn't keep it up.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why he doesn't seem to be able to control us either.
Oh? Why?
All right, then let's find this mushroom.
The environment changed again. Nothing to faze Paimon at this point.
Let's keep looking. He can't hide forever.
It's justice o'clock!
So you made it this far. Impressive. In that case...
He hid himself in the statue. What should we do? Actually, that checks out. We're just gonna smash it, right? Cool.
Heads up! Yeah! Stop! Heads up!
We've got you this time, nasty mushroom. We know all your schemes.
We thought you were just a mushroom that happened to taste good. But now we know how dangerous you are, so we have to stop you.
It would seem you're not completely devoid of intelligence. Fitting for my future subjects. Still, you're overlooking a very important detail. Did you think I was running away because I was scared? Well, this is a world of my creation. My will rules supreme. My schemes have been exposed, you say. No matter. My goal has already been achieved.
What?
Although I prefer to call myself the Sage Lord of Fungi, in the human tongue, I am known by another name. You now behold the god Bifrons, the sole protagonist in this endless carnage! Indeed, foolish, shallow, and ungrateful humans! Have you forgotten your savior during this time of war? I am the god who's protecting countless of your kind during this Archon War. You have no food in which to satiate your hunger, no means with which to counter the hordes of monsters, and the gods loom overhead, capable of reducing you to ashes with a simple snap of their fingers. Just one word, and you could have had my protection. But now, that opportunity is lost forever, and you only have your own stupidity and arrogance to blame. No matter, my plan has already succeeded. What you saw when you cooked the mushrooms was not mist, but spores, set to sprout into green mushrooms very soon. And that's where their true power lies. Because, given a bit of time to grow, green mushrooms will multiply exponentially. You see, considering my current level of power, I had no way to create large number of clones. Unless, of course, I had access to a source of extreme heat. And you delivered one to me on a silver platter. That was my plan all along.
So, you kept running away from us because you needed to buy time?
Precisely. Before long, the green mushrooms will multiply at an unstoppable rate, allowing me to return to the peak of my power. Then, I shall reclaim my dignity and status as a god, achieve victory in the Archon War, and take revenge on Sumeru.
You have no concept of time, do you? Newsflash, the Archon War is old news, buddy.
Nonsense! Is that not the source of your suffering? All I hear in this land is war this and war that. If you fear the Archon War, all the more reason to cower behind the protection of a god.
Pretty sure they're talking about the war against the Abyss.
Huh?
The Archon War? I guess I've heard about that once or twice, but only from Outlanders.
Ha! I see what's going on here. You're using lies and trickery to befuddle me. You know, my original plan was to imprison you here until the end of time. But now, I have a better idea. Once nothing is left of this land but an endless field of mushrooms, I'll set you free. You get the honor of witnessing that despair in person. Now, I was going to offer you a glimmer of hope by allowing you to pledge yourselves to me and take on the burden of managing my kingdom. But now, the deal is off. What did you say?
The Traveler explained everything. The only reason I could hear you is because I've eaten so many mushrooms over the years.
Yeah, and Paimon ate a whole bunch during the competition. Paimon's small, so it didn't take as many mushrooms for her to be affected. Point being, most people would have to eat a monstrous amount of mushrooms to even hear you over the buzz of a mosquito. So you latched onto us as a group of people who can actually hear your voice. In other words...
You said your mushrooms need time to grow, which means you don't have enough power to keep us here.
I may not have my former strength, but keeping a few humans right where I want them is a small task. Unless you think you can take on a creature as vicious and powerful as the Jade-Plume Terrashroom. Because you definitely can't. Right?
Let's get out of here!
Yeah, if he was telling the truth, we need to get back to the tribe as soon as possible.
Oh, no! You must be bluffing! A few measly humans couldn't possibly be that powerful! And what's this about a war against the Abyss? Hey, I want answers!
Paimon's not gonna waste one more word on this guy. Let's go!
What should we do?
Worried? Ha ha ha! Don't be! It's just a few mushrooms. Atoli!
Get ready to feast!
More, please! Guess it's time to dig in!
Stop this at once! Huh?
What a great meal! Thanks, everyone. I feel like a whole new me.
And with that, we took care of all the green mushrooms. Now, care to tell me what happened earlier? It was lights out for all three of you. Someone planted a god in Varessa's orchard, and she's been eating it ever since.
Yeah, we know not every god that's still around is super strong, but this one reached a whole new low.
Also, didn't he have his facts all wrong? He kept going on about some kind of Archon war.
Ah, well, Natlan was never part of the Archon War, so it rarely comes up around these parts. It makes sense that you don't know much about it, Varessa.
Well, Whoa, hold on. Are you serious?
Of course. The infighting between the dragons pretty much took over everything. So, there was no room for the gods to join in.
Yep, that checks out. Living under a rock all those years, Mushroom God wakes up, thinking it's still the Archon War, and tries to use that to convince people to worship him.
Little did he know, our lives are much better now than in the Age of the Dragons.
So what do we do now?
What should we do?
Worried? Ha ha ha! Don't be! It's just a few mushrooms! Unholy!
Get ready to feast!
More, please! Guess it's time to dig in! Stop this at once! Huh?
What a great meal! Thanks, everyone. I feel like a whole new me.
And with that, we took care of all the green mushrooms. Now, care to tell me what happened earlier? It was lights out for all three of you. Someone planted a god in Varessa's orchard, and she's been eating it ever since.
Yeah, we know not every god that's still around is super strong, but this one reached a whole new low.
Also, didn't he have his facts all wrong? He kept going on about some kind of Archon War.
Ah, well, Natlan was never part of the Archon War, so it rarely comes up around these parts. It makes sense that you don't know much about it, Varessa.
Whoa, hold on. Are you serious?
Of course. The infighting between the dragons pretty much took over everything. So, there was no room for the gods to join in.
Yep, that checks out. Living under a rock all those years, Mushroom God wakes up, thinking it's still the Archon War, and tries to use that to convince people to worship him.
Little did he know, our lives are much better now than in the Age of the Dragons.
So what do we do now? It can't be easy to slay a god.
I guess it's back to business as usual. As long as we keep picking the green mushrooms, that god is just a tasty mushroom at the end of the day. Actually, Traveler? Can I borrow you for a minute? Alright, here's good. So, it's not anything super important. I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your encouragement gave me the courage to investigate the green mushrooms and helped me resolve a threat to my tribe. And maybe this sounds weird considering everything, but it was a really awesome adventure. I had fun. Oh, why's that? You're right. I never thought my appetite would save the day. It's pretty surreal. But it's like you said. All it takes is a little patience and perseverance, and my time will come. If I start to doubt myself in the future, all I need to do is think of this experience and everything I've learned along the way.
Hey, you two! Akata was saying that since a scholar from Sumeru warned the tribe about the mushrooms, someone there must know about the mushroom god. Should we go check it out? Couldn't hurt to get more information.
Oh, good point. But if we're heading to the academia, I need to get permission from Uncle Akatl first.
Right. And it's not a quick trip. We have to cross the whole desert.
Good idea. Let's check it out.
Oh, Catherine's back! And isn't that Tainari?
Word from the speaker's chamber was that an Amurta scholar happened to be conducting research in the area, so they helped me to get in touch.
Yep, you're an expert, so you must know all about him, right?
Yeah, the mushrooms started popping up in our orchard not too long ago. Of course, you're welcome anytime. That's a huge help, actually. I wanted to ask, though, you said what remains of his clones? Does that mean there are clones outside of Natlan? Even now?
Zamaran?
You know that name?
Yeah, Paimon calls it Sheesh Room. It's absolutely huge! Way more impressive than the puny Sage Lord. We should go see Zamaran one of these days.
Ooh, I'll come. It'll be nice to interact with a friendly mushroom for once. I would never.